All right, welcome to another edition of Talking with Friends. We're back at you this Friday. I am Sports Information Director Levi Converse, and with me, as always, is my assistant SID, Morgan Raspberry. Morgan, how you feeling today?
Well, I mean, it's been a very stressful week considering this is the last week of school and it's all finals, but at the same time, it's kind of a nice relief and a nice break that we're about to get, so that's really good, and just kind of keep focusing on the positive right at this moment. But yeah, so far it's been a very interesting time.
It is finals week, and I remember those days very well. It can be stressful with everything going on, but we still got sports on campus. We're not done with that for the semester.
Nope.
And we're joined by our men's basketball senior guard, Davonte Pack, today. Davonte, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right. Well, speaking of that, Davonte, I know this is finals kind of week for you guys too. How's that going so far? You getting that wrapped up?
Yeah, I got all my finals done.
Awesome.
Tuesday this week.
Well, you can't beat that. Wow, that's awesome. Well, it's obviously been a pretty different year for all of us, but kind of on the inside a little bit from your perspective, you go nearly a month without playing a game, and then you jump right into playing Ottawa University, who's ranked number 14th in the country, and then McPherson College in a span of 2 days, and you beat them both. What was the preparation for you mentally and physically through that process?
Well, we knew that we was coming back to those tough games, so the guys, we just been hungry to play again because we had got a win before those two. So we just came just ready to play.
Yeah, and your performance in those 2 games earned you the KCAC Offensive Player of the Week honors, and your play really seems to be clicking right now. How do you feel right now in your second year in the program?
Right now, I feel comfortable. My teammates trust me. My coaches trust me. And all I want to do right now is win, mainly. And that's what we got coming for everybody for our next game and on.
Yeah, and a lot of our fans here are familiar with your friendship with John Morant, last season's NBA Rookie of the Year with the Memphis Grizzlies, who's been inside the Government Center for several of our games here. How did that relationship start, and in what ways have you sort of raised the level of each other's games?
Our relationship started back when we played rec league when we was like 8 years old, and then we just started bonding from there, got on the AAU team together, and we just was clicked since then. And our game raised from us working out in our backyard when we was younger, jumping on tires, just trying to make each other better. And he at the highest level, doing his best right now. I love to see it.
Yeah, he's playing really well going into his second year for Memphis. Preseason for NBA starts tonight, and that season starts December 22nd. Looking forward to that, getting back going. And from your perspective and on your end, when did you first develop a love for the game of basketball? You know, you mentioned playing in rec league. Is it something you've just played since you were a kid? Kind of how you started in basketball and really developing a good feel for the game.
Yeah, I started when I was young, around about 8. My mom and dad really wanted me to be in sports, and I used to love football more than basketball, actually. And then as I started bonding with my friends on basketball teams, then my love just started growing for basketball. And got me here.
Awesome.
Well, there you go. Good. No. So since you've been here for only like 2 years, I know that you probably don't have a whole lot of memories, but like what is like your best memory or like your most your just greatest memory? Sorry, this is one we ask everybody, so what's like your greatest memory that you've been here at Friends? It can be anything.
My greatest memory probably when we was at Oklahoma Westland last year in June, hit the game-winning 3. It was a big win, and I think they were ranked at the time, and I remember eating at the Subway, their coaches saying me and like 2 other teammates couldn't shoot, and we just came out and hitting shots, so I guess we just busted a bubble.
There you go. That's always great. And then, so what exactly, like, outside, like, have you just always really and truly developed, like, I mean, with friends and everything, so would you say that most of your friends are probably from, like, all of, like, your basketball teams for the most part, or do you have, like, more friends, like, because, like you said, like, with football, was that more of a thing that you just kind of loved at first, and then all of a sudden
I really think it's probably mainly through basketball because everybody that don't play basketball that I hang around is somebody who I went through from playing basketball, know them. So mainly it's through basketball or, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's always fun. So what exactly is your major here?
It's health and physical education.
There you go. That's always a good one.
Yeah.
Notice how a lot of athletes, that's usually their...
Yeah, that's a natural trend.
Usually
That's
their
a natural
major.
trend. And it opens up a lot of doors. There's a lot
It
of things you
does.
can
It
do with
really
it.
does.
Yep.
Yeah, no. What do you think that you're gonna do beyond friends?
My plan is to play overseas pro basketball. So I just pray every night that I make it there. And now I have a brand out. I just pray that my brand get bigger. So that'll be a backup to own my own brand too.
Wow.
So what's your brand then? I've never heard of this. What the heck?
Me neither.
My brand is MVNO. It's My Brothers Know Others.
Wow.
Ah.
It's like a bonding thing. Me and two of my brothers came up with this. So
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we break news on Talking with Friends, right?
Yeah, we
find
do,
out,
man.
we always find out new. We find out new stuff. I love it. Get a little deep and find out something new. And I know that play. I remember that play by June last year. You were talking about. In fact, where I'm following the game and I'm covering it, and right when he hits the shot, and we wound up winning the game, I'm already trying to clip that highlight. It's on the road, so it's a little bit harder than it is here at home that I can do. But I'm already trying to clip that highlight because it was such a great play. It was a 4-point play,
4-point play.
and he got fouled. He nailed the shot. It was awesome. I remember that. I remember that game.
Yeah.
And I remember the game last year too. I believe it was Oklahoma Wesleyan here. I think. I don't remember for sure, but it was a game where you and James Conley both had big games here. And I believe Conley hit the game-winning shot. You had a big game. You scored 20 points, or maybe had a double-double. I talked to you both after the game. I believe it was against Oklahoma Wesleyan. It was another big one, I believe, or it was against someone that was
it was either them or Bethel.
Bethel, one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the ranked teams that we played.
Yeah.
And that was big. So yeah, that was great last year.
Well, that is like absolutely amazing news. So, yeah, but good luck for the rest of this season. Hopefully, everything goes smoothly with everything going on in the world.
Yep.
But yeah, no, and obviously we'll keep praying for you that you can hopefully go overseas because that's super awesome and that would be absolutely amazing because there haven't been too many that, not that haven't wanted to, but not have like actually gone and done it. And I'm hoping and praying for you that you get to do that because that's really awesome. And hey, worst case scenario, your brand goes big. We're gonna have to check that out because I'm intrigued by that now. That's super awesome. I never knew that.
Yeah. Well, you score, you rebound, you defend, you do it all. So I don't put it past you. That's awesome. So, yeah, back in action tomorrow night. The Falcons at Kansas Wesleyan. Tip-off will be at 7 p.m. Then they're back here at 6 p.m. I'll get it right. 4. They move the games to 4 and 6 Monday night against Sterling College. Inside the Garvey Center, reminder that with the 100 maximum attendance level, no tickets available for purchase, no visiting fans allowed, but you can watch the game live on our portal, www.portal.stretchinternet.com/friends. Hope you tune into that. Davonte, thanks for stopping by. Good luck tomorrow night, Monday, and the rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.
All right, awesome. That is senior guard Davonte Pack of our men's basketball team. Again, they'll be in action tomorrow night. He is the reigning KCAC Offensive Player of the Week. Really started clicking this year, and we're excited to have him join us. Women also in action tomorrow night. Tip-off for that is at 5 p.m. Then they'll be back also against Sterling College at 4 p.m. on Monday. So we'll have a doubleheader here on Monday night. Sterling College women are nationally ranked. And speaking of women's basketball, we're going to have our GASID Scott Cox join us here momentarily. He primarily covers and focuses on women's basketball
As of right
in the
now.
winter. So he's going to give us a little bit of his 2 cents on that. Again, we thank Davonte for stopping by. Great conversation. And Scott is getting ready to come on over here.
We need to have like a nickname for you. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Why is that?
Well, because I mean, we already got Scotty P, We have Scott Mosier. Now we have you.
There's a lot of us.
There's quite a few Scotts.
All right, well, you come up with a nickname and we'll.
There's 3 Scotts. There's 3 Scott. Well, there's 2 Scotts for sure that I deal with
I
every
have to
day.
approve the nickname.
You guys have witnessed this.
Oh.
I'm allowed to give Scott a
I have
nickname.
to approve the nickname. but-
Oh yeah, this is happening. I am so happy right now.
I'll have to, obviously, by nature, I have to put a nickname too. So,
See,
so
it's
just
gonna
by,
happen.
Can't
but
be anything
we'll have to go
that-
through both of us. So.
That I don't like. So,
I haven't come up with anything you don't like necessarily. Ish.
let's see. Let's see about that.
Well,
Yeah,
we've
but
had
there
some
is
very
3.
interesting
There's 2
conversations.
Scotts I deal with every day in the office, and then they're obviously talking about Scotty P on game days. So it does get a little bit. It's a little
It's-
strange, but we've made it work so far. But a nickname might make it better. I'm all
I
for
know,
I'm
right?
all for improving things if we can. So
Well, I mean, like right now, like my nickname is Mr. Scott and Scott, so like you know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
but no one else does that.
no
but
one
you.
else knows. So.
All right, Scott, we talked about men's basketball with Davonte Pack. Women's basketball, they've been back in action. They've won 2 out of 3 games. They fell in a really tough fashion, though, at Ottawa University. I mean, that game was tough. That's a tough setback.
They had they were down 11 in the first half. They were down 10 midway through the third. They battled back, which was great. They actually took a lead, and then a last-second dagger layup that put Ottawa ahead really made it tough. But
Yeah, they come back. They took the lead a couple times at least, and it looked like it was the game they were going to be able to pull out, and it would have been a 3rd straight victory in conference, and it just didn't happen. They have won 2 out of 3. They held on against York big, so I mean they seem to be trending up right now. They seem to be gelling with the new players that they have, but it's just kind of a process that just continues really on throughout the season.
yeah, and Coach Jaderston said it perfectly on the coach's corner today that it's going to take a little bit longer for that to all come together with the
Yep.
with the COVID and all that stuff. So it's going to be a little bit of a longer process, and hopefully they can get it playing at a real high level here at the end of the year when you kind of want that.
Yep.
That.
Yeah, another thing that we discussed a little bit in the coach's corner too is Mackenzie Shippey's playing really well offensively. She's averaging 13 points a game. The last 3 games in the span where they've won 2 out of 3, she's averaged 13 points a game, and their leading scorer over that time. She only scored 5 total points before that. I mean, that was really remarkable because, and he said she struggled with her shot a little bit, but the last 3 games she seemed to really break out.
She's shooting the ball a lot better over the last couple of games. It's been interesting to see how that's progressed. And they're getting her the ball in spots where she can actually shoot the ball
Yep.
At a high level.
It's almost like she just kind of like has officially found her like comfort zone, if that makes any sense, and like she's just way more confident now, and I think that her teammates trust her now, so she finds trust, and that's absolutely amazing and always what you want. Sometimes you can get it, sometimes you can't, but I'm happy that she's finally getting that opportunity.
Yeah, and he talked about how she's putting in the extra work. I can vouch for that
Yeah.
because she was out there about an hour and a half before tip-off of our last home game. And when I was out there against that race, she's out there working. I think she's by herself. But so I can attest to that. She's putting in the work for sure. Tomorrow night at Kansas Wesleyan, and then Sterling at home.
Sterling's going to be a tough one.
There's 3 tough games to wrap up the semester because at Kansas Wesleyan we know how tough that is to go down there.
It's no slouch.
Then you host Sterling
Never
College,
is.
who's undefeated right now. Kyla Comley she's been here as long as she's in her 4th year. I'm in my 4th year. I've seen her entire career at Sterling in the KCAC. She is a one-of-a-kind guard on both ends of the floor. And then they actually close out the semester December 17th, next Thursday, at Avila. Avila won last year's KCAC tournament.
Yeah,
And we watched that game, and they are a gritty, physical type team. So really 3
very similar
tough games.
to Friends here.
Yeah.
They play a lot of good defense. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see how the defense holds up against Sterling
Mhm.
here on Monday night.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Well, we'll have the coverage for you. Scott, thanks for stopping by. I know it's finals week for you too.
It is finals week for me.
So
I got a project.
you got a
I gotta
project
do,
you're
so-
working on. So we're gonna let you pay some attention to that.
One
But
very interesting project.
yeah, I know Morgan's told me about her project. So it's I remember those finals days really, really well. It's one thing I don't really miss, but I remember them really well. So I know what it's like. So all right, Scott. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you soon. That's our GASID, Scott Cox, did a really good job covering women's basketball for us. He also, in the fall, covered volleyball and women's soccer. So,
I turned it off. I couldn't tell if I turned it
yeah,
off.
we're good. We're good. You're good.
Fun times.
We're totally good.
Oh.
So, as we mentioned, though, Monday night, our next home game will be against Sterling College at 4 and 6 p.m. inside the Garvey Center. 100 is the limit for attendance. So we are not allowing, no visiting fans allowed, no tickets available for purchase, but we want you to watch it live online, portal.stretchinternet.com/friends.
And please, use the hashtag Talons Up to make sure that we can see that you're also watching along and showing your Falcon pride as well, because even though you can't fully be here, we still want to see that you're interacting with everybody, and it's really fun. We're a really close-knit community. Obviously, we're a very friendly community.
There you go.
Sorry.
Good pun.
No pun intended.
You cannot leave that out. You can't leave that out. No, that's.
But it is true, and so
you can't leave that out. No.
we all want to see you guys out and supporting each and every single one of us in whatever sport that we're playing right at this moment, because we want to keep sports alive, but we want to make sure that you guys want to keep sports alive by interacting with us, even if you cannot fully be here. So that would be really awesome.
Yeah, and one thing to check out too, I know we're a little bit a ways away from track start, but we posted a really cool video of our race walkers this morning that we worked on. Assistant head cross country coach, assistant track coach Jason Parr helped put that together. He's on there recruiting on it. Remember, he was a guest on our podcast just a few weeks ago, and we put together that video, and it was a lot of fun, and it's really cool. It kind of takes you into it, kind of makes the pitch to come here. So we got a really good race walking program, really good track program in general, but very good race walkers, very good performance.
So, you can actually get a scholarship for walking?
Race walking, yeah. Check it out.
Dude,
yeah,
I might do that. Can I please do this?
But it's
I didn't know
an art.
this.
It's an art. You got to check it out. It's an art.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I can
fun.
do that. Get the full granny walk going. Oh, that's so cool. I didn't know that we actually did this.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, that's
How
the
did
video
I not
right there.
know this?
That's the video
I'm so
right there.
intrigued by this right now.
It is a cool video. You need to check it out. And it's a video we put together.
Think about this. Dude, if you're a really good walker, think about that. Come on, you get paid.
But it's an art though to do it. I mean, you
gotta get
you
gotta get the granny walk going. How you just swivel and you just to go and you just to go like grannies do. I'm like, let's do it. I think that it would be so cool.
Yeah, it's a cool video. It's fun.
And then watch
good.
I try it and then completely fail at it because.
Hey, I'm telling you, it's not easy.
Oh no, I don't doubt it. I'm not taking anything away from race walkers. That's awesome.
Are you making your recruiting pitch? I mean, really the video is the person. The video is a recruiting pitch. So is that working for you? Are you?
I think it's kind of working for me right now. You know what, Coach Parr? I might have to check it out.
So it's already worked on.
There we go,
Morgan, Jason. So go ahead. Yeah.
I think it's already working because I'm very intrigued by this right now.
It's already working. So
I want to start walking. Because before surgery, I got really good at walking. I'll say that much. I got the good, fast-paced walk right now because before, whenever I had surgery, I wasn't allowed to run until literally last week. Guys, I wasn't allowed to start running until, last week. And I haven't been able to run since August. So that's, a huge thing for me. And I'm not a runner, but I can walk. I can do some walking. I can do the fast-paced walking. I think I can do this. Coach Parr, sign me up.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Your video's already worked. It's already worked. It's working.
I'm so down.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
But yeah, no. So what's going on else in the college sports world? I know that
football's starting to kind of wrap up in the college world, but
Yep.
we're still not fully done, obviously, but it's starting to wrap up.
Some conference championships are set.
Yep.
The Big 12 conference championship is set. It will be Iowa State and Oklahoma.
Ooh, that'll be a good
In
one.
that game, Iowa State's already beat Oklahoma once this year, but as before OU got back, defensive end Ronnie Perkins and running back Ramondre Stevenson started. They're a little bit different team since then.
Mhm.
Spencer Rattler, redshirt freshman quarterback, is playing much better now. So it'll be a really good game. And for Iowa State, a lot of our fans may remember Naria Hall played here last year.
Oh, yeah.
Her brother, Brees Hall, is quite possibly the best running back in the country. And he runs at Iowa State. He's a running back at Iowa State. He is I think he should even be higher up on the Heisman list than what he is. But he is a really solid running back from Iowa. He's right here in Wichita, plays at Iowa State. Iowa State is a really fledgling program under Matt Campbell. It's been fun to watch their rise. And obviously, as an Oklahoma fan, I'm rooting for the Sooners. But if Iowa State were to win, I'd love it if they were to make the college football playoff too. And ACC championship game is set. Notre Dame and Clemson. These games are December the 19th. So a lot of good
That'll be
games.
a good
SEC championship game is set. Florida, Alabama. Most people think Alabama is most likely in the playoff, regardless of that result. We'll have to see how that goes. But even a loss, they're probably in it.
Yeah.
Florida is not. So
Really?
Florida will need to beat Alabama. If Florida beats Alabama, they will be in the playoff. If they lose, they'll be out. Texas A&M is hanging back in fifth.
Yeah.
So you got
However,
Iowa
they
State
did have
7.
a huge win over LSU not too long ago.
They did,
I did
yeah.
see that. 'Cause I know that is a big rivalry game back home. Man, where I'm from, you're either A&M or you're Sam Houston because those are the two biggest, closest colleges to us. Oh my stars! There's way more A&M people than anything else. So that's all I was seeing on almost every single social media thing was LSU versus A&M. It was a big, huge deal. Did you see I know that a lot of other bands are doing this, but I thought this was so hilarious. Whenever you're watching the game, they have a pan to the A&M band, to the Aggie band, and their masks have a slit in them. They're still wearing a mask.
Yes,
but
I
it has
did.
a slit so they
that.
can play their instruments. I was like, that is so awesome.
It is, and my first thought
so
was,
awesome.
my first thought was, does that defeat the purpose
Exactly.
of the vote?
It's okay, did this really just happen? Not trying to bring this up and have a controversy about it, but I just thought that was so funny. And I don't even know. I can't even tell if that's right or wrong because I was supposedly you could kind of close it a little bit,
Yeah.
but I'm also does that still defeat the purpose or no? I'm just gonna leave this here. What is going on?
It's almost like it's fashion purposes.
Yeah. But that was just so funny. Sorry
was
to bring
good,
that
though.
up, but I was
I've seen what
loved
you've
that.
seen, and my first thought was, does that not defeat the purpose of this? It's
Exactly.
what are we doing here?
We were just sitting there chilling, and all of a sudden you see the A&M, and you could tell A&M. They almost had a full house. It almost seemed like. Obviously they didn't, but then again, it is A&M. Their stadium's huge. I've seen it. I've seen Aggie Stadium, and oh my gosh, or it's not really called Aggie Stadium, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it goes by the 12th man. It's what they goes by.
Yeah, the 12th man.
Yeah.
And so I know that they have a lot of pride, and they're going to obviously come out for that one. And they had a huge sweep against LSU. It was almost as if LSU just didn't even know what to do. And we don't know why either.
Yeah.
It's not anything different. You go from the previous year where it was almost 5 overtimes, a kick, a field goal literally separated.
Yep.
And it was a huge, huge, massive game. Oh my goodness, I will never forget that game and how many people in my hometown were holy poop, right?
Yeah.
And then you go to this year and it's oh, okay. I mean, still nothing wrong with it. It was still a really big game, but
it definitely lacked.
Yeah.
It definitely lacked the emotion and intensity that you normally would see. And a lot of that is
Yeah.
because LSU is down this year.
that's true.
That's a big reason. They are really, really down from last year. I mean, last year, you could argue they might have been the greatest college football team we've ever seen.
That's true. They did lose a lot last year.
And
if
they
you
lost
think about
a
it,
lot
they
of
lost
guys.
a lot of people.
That's in the NFL now.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, starting quarterback Cincinnati Bengals, who's hurt obviously, but still.
Yeah.
K'Lavon Chase on a first-round
Yep.
pick defensive end.
Yep.
Justin Jefferson, who might be the offensive rookie of the year, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yep.
So they, I mean, and that's not, they lost more than that, but that's 3 guys that was major contributors that are gone.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're in a rebuilding year. There's no doubt.
I was like, and that's usually what happens. Like, I mean, they go through a period where, like, they're super strong for a couple years, and then all of a sudden, all their best players are gone. Yeah. So they got to dial back down and restructure everything, which, I mean, every team goes through that eventually.
Yep.
It's just like, I feel like it's like a constant pattern with LSU.
Yep.
And I feel like it's like like, even Clemson will sometimes go through this, but it's not as reoccurring as like what LSU is for some reason. I don't know what it is about LSU, but Yeah,
another fun game to keep an eye on. Actually, a couple of fun games to keep an eye on, but that kind of factor in the playoff race too. The American Athletic Championship will be Cincinnati and Tulsa. They were supposed to play this week, but that game got canceled. So now it's going to be Tulsa at Cincinnati on December 19th for the American Championship. Cincinnati is ranked 8th in the college football playoffs. They obviously need to go undefeated and get a little bit of help. Tulsa's not in the playoff race, but they are ranked in the top 25. So Tulsa, Cincinnati, and another fun game in the Sun Belt Championship will be Coastal Carolina and Louisiana. The funny story about that, Coastal Carolina beat BYU last week in a game that was set up 2 days ahead of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was literally 2 days. It was not except on a Thursday.
Yep.
Coastal Carolina was supposed to play Liberty. Liberty had a few COVID cases and couldn't play. So then BYU was off that week. Coastal Carolina don't have an opponent. Right. BYU was undefeated. Coastal Carolina undefeated. They're both kind of on the fringe. I'm not sure the one's going to make the playoff, but they're both, pretty highly ranked. They played each other Saturday. Coastal Carolina won that game. Mm-hmm. Really, really good game to watch. I watched it. Coastal Carolina wins. They move up to 13 now in the playoff rankings. They are playing in the Sun Belt Championship against Louisiana. Yeah. Louisiana has lost 1 game this year to Coastal Carolina. They also beat Iowa State by 17 to start the season.
Dang.
31-14 in Ames, Iowa. So Louisiana, the Sun Belt is pretty good. Louisiana playing Coastal Carolina in the Sun Belt Championship. Normally that wouldn't register a lot on the Richter scale as far as importance, but that game may be fun to watch.
I think so too. That's going to be a very interesting game. I think it's going to be a good, well-matched game. For sure.
Yep. Coastal Carolina runs that triple option. They control the clock. They kept BYU quarterback Zach Wilson, who's projected to be a first-round pick, off the field. They kept possession. Their defense made plays when they had to, and they won the game, and they look legit. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get in the playoff consideration. The top 4, probably not, but they look legit. They look really solid for a New Year's 6 game against the Power 5 team, and I would not be shocked if they get that game, that they don't pull a Central Florida and win over a Power 5. Central Florida, remember, beat Auburn a couple years ago in the Peach Bowl.
Dude, that was an intense game.
Don't be shocked if Coastal Carolina does not do that to somebody this year. They are really good, and they're well coached, and they have a great offensive system that is hard to prepare for. So don't be surprised if Coastal Carolina does not pull that off this week or this year if they get into the New Year's 6 bowl game. College basketball is off and running too. We got some postponements. Unfortunately, number 1 versus number 2 was postponed last Saturday. Gonzaga and Baylor. That was going to be a lot of fun to watch. Didn't get to see that one.
I did see Wichita State play. I don't remember who they were playing. I think it was Oklahoma.
Wichita State played Oral Roberts.
That was it.
And they did win that.
I just saw that briefly.
They lost to Missouri this past Sunday.
Really?
So Wichita State's a little bit, it's a tough situation with head coach Greg Marshall out now. Interim coach Isaac Brown is there. So a little bit of different season for Wichita State, but we'll see kind of how they fare. But it's going to be a different environment now without Greg Marshall. So we'll see how they proceed going forward.
I'm just excited for Michigan right now. I know we're just starting and everything, and I haven't really watched anything with Michigan yet, but I'm excited to watch them play this year, and hopefully we can have a better year than what we did last year. But we got a new coach last year, whole 9 yards. I think this year we'll get rocking and rolling a little bit better and hopefully make it further in the playoffs. And, hopefully we won't have to have a Sparty showdown, too, because that won't be fun.
Michigan State's always going to be a factor. They're one of the most well-coached teams in the country, Tom Izzo. But I'll tell you this, Jawan Howard brought in what I believe is the #1 recruiting class
Yeah.
this season. So Michigan should be well stocked
Oh yeah.
for a run. They've not missed a lot. Obviously, when John Beeline went to the Cleveland Cavaliers NBA, they lost a little bit at first, but it looks like they're back where they need to be in the Big Ten in the country.
I think they
Jawan
were just
Howard's done a good
having a rocky start last year, and just like kind of like had a rough start to this new head coach's ability right at this moment, because he's from like the dream team basically, you know, what are they called, the Fab Five.
Yeah.
Yes, like he's one of the Fab Five, you know, and so everybody thought, oh, this is going to be our year, right? And it didn't happen. But I think this year it's gonna surprise a lot of people. I think now that he's got a groove of everybody and everything, and he has a whole new recruiting team basically coming in, or not whole new, but you know, it's not brand new, but I mean, it's definitely going to be a change, and I think we're going to see a positive change for Michigan this year. So that's what I'm hoping for, at least. But then again, I'm a Wolverine fan. It was like literally came out like of my mom's womb, like singing like their university song. Now I couldn't tell you what it is, but
I'll tell you what, I can't sing it. I know some of the words to it, but I can hum it.
Yeah, I was like, I can definitely hum it. I know the tune very well, but I don't know the words anymore. Yeah, no. Well, when you have like a deep thing in there, like almost a lot of my dad's side, if not everybody on my dad's side for the most part, at some point went to Michigan or just huge Michigan University fans. Like, I don't know what it is. I know my grandpa's an alumni there. I know my great-uncle's an alumni there, and they really badly want me to go there, and same with the rest of our family. So hopefully, we're kind of hoping that Michigan looks up my brother for baseball right now. So, hey, heads up, Michigan, Cole Rasberry, he's a great left-handed hitter. You got it. I'm just kidding. But
we'll need to tag him in.
I know, right?
Morgan's work.
I know, right? Trying to put some love out there, you know. But anyways, like it's just an all around great school, especially for our family, and so that's kind of another reason why they have a special place in my heart. Yeah. Because most people are like, why Michigan for me? Because I'm from Texas, so everybody either thinks what two schools do you think people think that I root for?
Well, it'd be A&M for one.
One is A&M.
And then Houston University.
No,
University of Houston.
It's actually not Houston.
But you would think, though, that would be one
You would
that you would be.
You would think just because I'm from around the Houston area, but no, it is not Houston.
But I know you're from Michigan, but if people didn't really know, you know, your alliances and they know where you're from, they would think you'd either be A&M or Houston, most likely.
You would think, right?
But it's Michigan.
It's definitely Michigan. And a lot of the times, like, we'll even get UT for some reason. I'm like, no,
I mean,
not a huge UT person either.
Yeah.
But I guess because University of Texas, Texas A&M, that's always been a rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, it's either you're one or the other, right?
Yeah,
I'm like, no, it's not.
So it throws a lot of people usually whenever they find out that I'm really a Michigan fan. But then they figure out my background from it, and they're like, oh, okay, now it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
but still. Anyways, let's go to some NFL picks, because this...
I was gonna add to it. Michigan fans Michigan fans are looking forward to basketball season, because football season has not been real good. So.
No, let's not even talk about football season. Let's just focus on basketball. Oh man! But going into some NFL picks, last week, since we didn't get to do one last week, which was actually my fault, my bad. But anyways, that was kind of an interesting week for some teams, you know.
Yeah.
That was. Ooh.
Cleveland and Tennessee was a barn burner. Cleveland went into Tennessee and won 41-35. Just for the record, if we did make our picks last week, I was going to pick the Browns. Just know that I would have called that.
Yeah.
Okay. Just know that I would have called that.
Okay.
They were up 38-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
They won that. Baker Mayfield threw 4 touchdowns in the first half.
Wow.
Was lighting up. Tennessee come back, made it interesting that 41-35 was the final score, and Cleveland had to recover an onside kick to seal it. But Cleveland won that last week. Let's see, the Colts went into Houston and squeaked one out, 26-20.
That was a very, very close game, and my grandma was
But
not
Green Bay
happy.
held off Philadelphia 30-16. Carson Wentz was benched in that game in the third quarter. Jalen Hurts, rookie quarterback, second-round pick out of Oklahoma, come in and played well through a touchdown pass. He is getting the start this Sunday for the Eagles. He'll be getting his first career start against the Saints.
Okay.
New England just blitzed the Chargers 45-0, which really killed my fantasy team. Justin Herbert was just, that's a big reason why I'm not in the playoffs in that league, but whatever. Buffalo with a big win. Washington upsetting Pittsburgh 23-17. Pittsburgh's first loss of the year. So yeah, very interesting week.
That is, yeah. It's just been an overall tough time, but a lot of it has to do with some missing players, some injured players, some all of this, all of that, and you just kind of have to focus on which one you're doing.
A little bit of randomness to this season.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's going to be in or out, but
Pretty
they've
much.
done a good job for the most part mitigating it. They've done the best they can,
Yeah.
but still interesting. All right, you want to make some picks?
Let's make some picks. Whether I'm going to be accurate or not, who on earth knows?
All right. First one we have is, of course, last night the Rams beat the Patriots 24-3. Not a big surprise there. The Patriots are really up and down this year.
Yeah.
Cam Newton is very up and down. They looked really good last week, and winning 45-0 at Los Angeles with the Chargers, but they've been up and down. So Rams have looked really good. They're in the NFC West race. So Rams won that 24-3. First off, Houston at Chicago. You gonna go with your hometown team or who?
I honestly don't know because Chicago hasn't been doing too bad
Chicago's
right now.
been
They're doing really good right
Chicago
now.
has been on a rough stretch lately. They've lost 6 straight.
Oh,
Yeah, they start 5-1. They start really well, but they've made the switch back to Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. Houston's 4-8. They seem to be competitive every game, but they've come up short since making the change to Romeo Crennel as an interim coach, firing Bill O'Brien. They've seemed to lit a little bit of a spark with them, but oftentimes it's not enough. But I'm going to say Houston this week. Chicago just does not look good at all to me. Their offense is really stuck in cement. Trubisky they went back to Mr. Trubisky, but he's not the answer. We know that. So I'm going to go Houston. I think Deshaun Watson makes one more play to win.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Not necessarily that, but just because it's Houston, why not? We got to give some love to the Texans every once in a while.
Yeah. Next up, in a game that I wish I really could care about more than I do, but I don't know, it's hard to. Dallas at Cincinnati. Dallas losing last week pretty much sealed their playoff hopes, even in the NFC East.
Yeah.
They're now 2 games back. But at Cincinnati, Cincinnati playing without Joe Burrow, they were struggling to win with Burrow. Now they're really struggling without him. I'll say this: Dallas is a favorite by 3.5. If they show up to play, I think they win.
Yeah.
If they mailed it in, then it could be a 13-12 type game. I think Dallas does win. I think they win. I think they get it done at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Cincinnati's not won a game
Well,
since.
it isn't.
Andy Dalton's quarterbacking for Dallas, so
yeah.
their offense is better than it was with him back. But
I think I'm going to go with Dallas, too, just because, I don't know, like you said, they've been struggling, and now that Andy Dalton is back for Dallas, I think that's helping them offensive-wise.
their offense is better than it was, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
But, I mean, like, we had a discussion about, like, Tony Romo when he was out, and they didn't know what to do, and then now Dak's out, and they don't know what to do.
It's
like,
the same type of scenario.
Yeah, I was
the
like, we had this
Cowboys
discussion
in
the other day.
2015, in 2014, they go 12-4. They're in the NFC division round. They were one controversial play away from making the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Very controversial play, and they don't get, and they lose obviously, but they were that close. The next year, Tony Romo gets hurt in the second game of the year. He breaks his collarbone. They go from a 12-4 team to a 4-12 team, and that's really their only difference. I mean, everybody else is pretty well back for the team on both sides, and this year is similar to that. You know, they're competitive with Dak Prescott. Dak's never had a losing season since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
So he's, multiple-time Pro Bowl. They're looking competitive this year. Defense still isn't very good, but they're looking competitive. Dak goes out, and they go to one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, it's not like, no team in the league can withstand their starting quarterback and maintain the same level of play. No one expects that.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys don't just go to average. They crater, seems like, without their starting quarterback. But this week, I think they do win against the Bengals if they show up and and they haven't mailed it in. We'll see if they've mailed it in already. But because they were competitive at Baltimore, they were competitive, but they lose. They're 2 games out now, so I'm not confident that they're going to be up for it. But if they are up for it, I think they win. So,
Yeah.
all right, Arizona at the Giants. So, Giants are playing really, really well
Yeah.
right now. They are. Arizona is struggling, even though they are a 3-point favorite. As much as I would like to pick the Cardinals to win, the Giants winning at Seattle last week, they're on a mission right now. Their front seven's playing really well. I don't know if Daniel Jones is back this week or not. I don't know if they made a declaration on that. But either way, they're at home. The Cardinals are struggling right now getting Kyler Murray lanes to run the football.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that I seen last night, if you really go deep into the scheme of the system, they're running DeAndre Hopkins on the left side about 80 to 90% of the time. So what's happening is the defenses are rotating toward DeAndre Hopkins, and they're motioning their help to Hopkins, which allows them to play one-on-one on the other side, and they're cutting off the lanes for Kyler Murray. Cliff Kingsbury is going to have to make an adjustment on that. I think they're going to have to put Hopkins in motion more, or put him on the other side, because right now their offense is sputtering, and the Giants' defense, I think, can eat that alive. So as much as I need the Giants to lose as a Cowboys fan to keep any hope alive and win the division, I just can't. I got to pick the Giants in this one.
I think I'm going to go with the upset this time around. I think I'm going to go with Arizona.
All right. Well, Arizona's a favorite, so you're not.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be upset, but
Well,
I just don't
technical
like what I'm
upset.
seeing with the Cardinals. I don't like what I'm seeing.
They
I
might
like
get their
what the
stuff
Giants are
together, though,
doing.
this week. You never know.
I hope
because,
so. I hope so.
I mean, usually when something's not working, you got to fix it. So
Yeah, I got to go with the Giants. I hate to, but I got to go with the Giants. So my gut just tells me I just don't like what I'm seeing the Cardinals. They look really bad against New England. They did not look great at home against the Rams last week. And I'm seeing warning signs right now with the Cardinals that I just don't like. So, and the Giants seem to be playing their best football of the year. They won 4 straight. So as much as it pains me, I got to go with the Giants in this one. All right, Kansas City at Miami. This might be a tough game. What you think?
Yeah.
Even though Miami, I'm picking Kansas City. Kansas City's rolling. They're steamrolling.
Yeah.
And my GA Scott's still in here. He's as a Broncos fan, he's booing that pick. But Kansas City's rolling right now. They did have a tough game against Denver, though. They survived against Denver for 3.5 quarters. That game was a toss-up.
Yeah.
And Kansas City just made one more play down the stretch, and Denver actually had the ball back, the chance to win. They stalled, but Kansas City, though, I can't see Miami winning this game.
Honestly, I can't either, but I think this is going to be a way closer game than what we're thinking.
I'll tell you
really do
this:
think
if
that.
I picked against the spread, Kansas City as a 7.5-point favorite, I would pick Miami.
Yeah.
Because I think it's going to be close. I just think Kansas City makes enough plays. Mahomes, give him the ball, they make plays. They don't always win big. Week before last, they won by 3 at Tampa Bay, but they converted enough third downs in the final drive to hold on against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and now they held on against Denver. I mean, I think Kansas City makes enough plays to win it, but
I think that they'll take care of it, but I think it's going to be really close.
I think Miami keeps it close. I don't think Kansas City wins by 7 or 8. By
No,
no,
I don't think so either.
If I'm picking the spread, I'm picking Miami.
Yeah.
All right, but you got Kansas City too, right?
I got Kansas City
Okay.
too.
All right, Minnesota at Tampa Bay, another game where I think the spread is way too high. Minnesota 6-6. We're still, in fact, Minnesota. If the playoffs started today, Minnesota would be in it over the Cardinals at 6-6. Even though they have a tougher schedule, the FPI seems to favor the Cardinals making it over Minnesota. But right now, Minnesota will be in it. Tampa Bay is a 6.5-point favorite in this game, and Tampa Bay right now is. I don't know what Tampa Bay team is going to show up sometimes.
Yeah.
Is it the team that steamrolled Green Bay 38-10 and made life really rough for Aaron Rodgers, or is it the team that got beat 38-3 at home to the Saints? I mean, I don't know. This game is a tough game to pitch. Tough game to pick. I think Tampa Bay finds a way to win at home because they're still obviously from in the playoffs as well. I think they find a way to win, but I don't think they win by much. I think this just has all the feel of a 27-24 type game, and that was way less than what the spread is. So I think Tampa Bay's favored by way too much.
Yeah.
But
I think I'm going to go with Minnesota because I think that Minnesota can hold their own on this one.
well, they're going to have to run Dalvin Cook and run Dalvin Cook a lot.
Yeah.
to win this because Kirk Cousins is another player you don't know what you're going to get each week from. But Minnesota is playing well for the most part from where their rough start. They started really, really rough. And they're playing much, much better. I think it's close. I think Tampa Bay finds a way to win it. Denver at Carolina. No. Again, we got Scott still hanging out here with us. No. We should have had Scott make picks, but Scott, you want to make some picks with us? No. Are you good? All right. I was going to ask you if he wants to.
It's fun.
He's just hearing what we're saying. I'll tell you, Carolina at 3-point fair. That's about right. You got two teams kind of on the same trajectory. Both teams have showed a lot of promise at times, and then both teams have shown a lot of inconsistencies. Carolina and their first-year head coach Matt Rule, they're both 4-8.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey's not going to play this week.
Really?
So I think that makes a difference. I'm going to go Denver just because I like Denver's defense last week, and I like I can't trust Carolina. I can't trust the other team. I'm going to go Denver in this one.
I wouldn't even have picked Denver.
I'm going to go Denver in this one. I just think I can't trust Carolina either. I think they're both on the same wavelength. And right now, home field does not mean anything, or it doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to go Carolina just because, I don't know.
Carolina's a 3-point favorite, and home field's worth 3 points, but I don't think it's worth 3 points this year.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, this is just going to be a super close game, so I think it's a toss-up either way you go.
I do too. Like I said, you got teams on the same wave right now.
Yeah.
Both showed some flashes of promise. Neither team knows for sure they have a franchise quarterback. They're just waiting to see, and they may have. Teddy Bridgewater has shown good things at times. Other times he's been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Bridgewater is the one, is the one they're going to have long term. But same with Denver, Drew Lock. There's times that he looks like a guy that can be the guy, and other times it looks like they need to replace him. So.
The Denver Broncos do not fare well when they travel across country for a noon game. They've not done well in recent years when that happens.
Yeah, that could be a good point.
I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Could be. I'm going Denver, but it has probably more to do with what I picked Carolina. I just don't, with especially without McCaffrey, I don't trust Carolina. So, but again, that's a game that could be a toss-up for sure.
Yeah.
Next game, Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville 1-11. Tennessee better win this game. But Tennessee is only favored by as much over Jacksonville as Kansas City is at Miami. So that spread feels maybe about right. Jacksonville's had some close calls. They gave Cleveland a really tough game 2 weeks ago. Mike Glenn's actually played pretty well at quarterback for him. But I'm going to go Tennessee. Tennessee can't lose this game. They have to win this game.
I agree. And I think that they know that, and so it's going to be a better game than,
Yeah.
And it's Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville. I mean, they're not playing.
Jacksonville.
Really, Jacksonville don't want to win the game right now. I think Jacksonville right now, in all honesty, if you put truth serum in Jacksonville's team right now, I think they really hope the Jets fool around and win one game.
Yeah.
Where they'd be right. And they almost did last week. The Jets almost fooled around and won a game last week. Oh, we'll talk about that game here in just a second. That factors into our next game. But, Jacksonville, I think, would secretly like the number 1 overall pick and get Trevor Lawrence. But, I don't think they win this. Tennessee, it means way too much to Tennessee to win this one. So, we both got Tennessee. Next, Indianapolis at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders were the team that almost flew around, lost to the Jets last week. Last play of the game, the Jets, defensive coordinator Greg Williams calls, he calls an all-out blitz, and it leads to a long touchdown from Henry Ruggs. Now, I'm going to say this, though, to defend Greg Williams, who has been fired, so you don't get a lot of defense. He had called no pressure. He had backed off and played coverage, and he got burned by it. Mm-hmm. So I think he was thinking the last play of the game, he wanted to make things, he didn't want Derek Carr to stand in the pocket and have 10 seconds to throw, because we've seen when that happens, if you give a quarterback time to throw, he's going to find someone. It's going to be a jump ball, and you're going to have a 50-50 toss-up play. So, again, it wasn't the right call. In hindsight, the execution was horrible on it. So it wasn't the right call. But I'm going to defend him on that. I kind of get the mindset on it a little bit. But anyway, he's fired. So, I don't know if anybody else seen it. But the Raiders snuck by the Jets. Derek Carr finding Henry Ruggs for a long touchdown to win the game at the last play of the game. the Raiders are a team that when they played Kansas City on Sunday Night Football a few weeks ago, it was a back-and-forth game. They already beat Kansas City once on the road.
Yeah.
It was a back-and-forth game. The Raiders led late, and the Chiefs marched down and scored. One of the, like they do. They make plays to win the game.
Yeah.
And they won late at Las Vegas. But I thought going out of that game, I thought the Raiders were a firm playoff team that could be dangerous. Since then, they have not looked good at all. They lose 43-6 at Atlanta.
Yeah.
They squeaked by the Jets in a game they should have lost. The Raiders have went the opposite direction of what I thought they were going. Indianapolis is a team that is a very physical football team. They grind out wins. Phillip Rivers is kind of a game manager at this stage, but he does a good job of it.
Mm-hmm.
They run the ball well, and their defense is really, really solid. I got to go with the Colts. I can trust the Colts more than the Raiders. Colts are a 3-point favorite, so it's close, but I can't feel confident picking the Raiders right now. If this game was played 2 weeks ago, I'd have picked the Raiders at home. I just can't feel confident. I know what I'm getting from the Colts. I don't know what I'm getting from the Raiders, so I'm going to go with the Colts.
I think I'm going to agree with you on that one, just because you never know what team is going to show up. And then, I mean, they almost had a very big hiccup with
that would
last
have,
week.
and they're already a game out of the
So-
playoffs. So I mean, they need to win badly. And if they
Yeah.
lost the Jets, that would have been devastating.
That could have been really bad.
But I don't know how I'm getting. Yeah, I'm going with the Colts. I don't know how I'm getting with the Raiders. Next game you would think would be kind of easy to pick, but after seeing Seattle last week against the Giants, they didn't look good at all. And like I said, the Giants are playing really good football right now. Really good football. But Seattle looked really, really bad last week. They have so much trouble protecting Russell Wilson, first off. Their offensive line has trouble protecting. So what Russell Wilson has to do is he's a mobile quarterback that can make plays in the pocket, but there's a difference between making plays strategically and running for your life to make a play because you can't get blocking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening with Seattle too many times right now, is he's having to make plays outside the pocket because he's forced to, because he's not getting good protection. So Seattle struggles on that end. Defensively, they're not as solid as they have been in years past. But the Jets are 0-12. The Jets, to me, they don't want to win a game. So I've got to go Seattle here. I mean, the spread's 13.5. I think Seattle wins this probably outright, but Seattle's not played real well recently. They've been on a little bit of a downward trajectory, but they're still 8-4. They win this, they're still tied for first in the NFC West. A lot to play for. It's all still out in front of them. So there's no way, in my mind, Seattle stumbles against the Jets. I think it's just too much at stake. I got to go Seattle.
I would agree. And in all honesty, I don't know if the spread's going to be exactly right, like the 13-point spread. I don't know if that's going to be exactly right, but I think that Seattle's definitely going to win.
Yeah, Seattle, they
The
just need
Jets,
too
I feel like
much.
the Jets don't really care right now. They're like, yeah, okay.
The Rams winning last night puts the pressure on Seattle to win it because Seattle needs to win to keep pace with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's already lost to the Rams once this year.
Yeah.
So the Rams as of now has a tiebreaker. Of course, the next matchup is pending that. But Seattle, to me, there's no way they stumble. Right. Come on. No way.
Totally.
No way the Jets flew around and win this game. Yeah.
You never know.
We might wind up on freezing cold takes. But if we do, there'll be a lot of people on freezing.
Yeah.
So it's okay. All right. Green Bay at Detroit. Green Bay's playing well again.
Yeah.
Green Bay's had a couple hiccups, but Green Bay is a team this year that's 9-3, and they have beat the teams they're supposed to beat.
Mm-hmm.
Now the tough teams, the teams that is really really good. The tough teams they played, they've lost to largely. They lost at Tampa Bay 38-10. They lost in Indianapolis, so they've not fared real well against teams winning records. But against teams like the Lions, they've cleaned up on, and that's that's why they're where they're at.
Yeah.
Green Bay wins this. Detroit, I mean, obviously they fired Matt Patricia, so they are under new guidance for the rest of the season. I think the Packers come in there and win pretty handily.
Yeah, I would agree.
9-point favorite. I think that's probably about right. I think I'd pick Green Bay outright. Green Bay, they're playing for a lot too. I mean, the number one seed in the NFC is still up for grabs, so they're a game behind the Saints for that. I mean, they play the Saints later in the year, which is going to be a big game.
Yeah.
So Green Bay, they don't stumble at Detroit. They win this. New Orleans at Philadelphia. The big interesting thing about this game is I don't know if it's interesting who we're going to pick, but Jalen Hurts will make his first career start for the Eagles, as we mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz was benched in the third quarter last week, and I was watching the game live, and when there's some things, I don't think everything that the Eagles' problems have is all pertaining to Carson Wentz. A lot of it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dead last in multiple categories, a lot of it is on you, but not all of it. The Eagles have problems with blocking. They have problems with schemes. They have problems with really not playing to Wentz's strengths. But I will say this though: when Jalen Hurts came in last week, it gave the team a spark.
Mm-hmm.
They needed that. It was time for a change. Again, Wentz deserves a lot of the blame, not all of it. But they needed a spark. Jalen Hurts will give him that. He threw a touchdown pass. He makes plays with his legs. I don't think it's enough to beat the Saints at home. I'm going to pick the Saints, but I do think the Eagles will look much more crisper this week. It may be just for 1 week. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think the move, I think it was overdue to go to Jalen Hurts. So I got to go with the Saints, but I think that is one interesting aspect of this game, to see how Jalen Hurts performs and see how the Eagles kind of, as an offensive unit, perform around him.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with Philadelphia just for fun.
Oh.
I'm going with them for fun. I don't really know how it's going to turn out. But
Drew Brees may be back for this game. I don't know yet. That's kind of questionable. But Taysom Hill's played pretty well for him, actually. He gives him multiple looks with his legs, and he's throwing the ball a little bit better. So I'm going to the Saints with or without Brees. But I am interested to see how Jalen Hurts performs.
mm-hmm.
As an OU fan, I hope he performs well because as a Cowboys fan, I hope they lose the game. But as an OU fan, I hope he performs well.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of torn on it a little bit. But I got to go Saints either way. I got to go Saints. All right, Atlanta at the Chargers. This is the Chargers right when you think they might be playing well. And the Chargers, we've discussed this all year.
Yeah.
They have created ways to lose at the final last play.
Yeah.
They've created ways to lose. The good thing about last week is they didn't have to create a way. Losing 45-0, it was already over in the first half. So there is nothing to create in that. They actually, no heartbreaks in that. They just flat out lost. Atlanta is another team that I have no confidence in picking. But they are playing a little better of late. Getting Julio Jones back helps, obviously, a lot.
Yeah.
So these are two teams that I flip a coin. I'm going Atlanta.
You're going Atlanta? Okay.
I don't know. The Chargers, after last week,
I'll go with the Chargers just for fun, too. Let's do it.
I mean, the Falcons 3-point favorite, that shows you,
this is going to be way too
Julio
much.
Jones plays, I'm going the Falcons. I don't. The Chargers may lose at the final play game. Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe they get back to that tradition. So Washington at San Francisco. Washington, another team playing really well in the NFC East. They beat Pittsburgh, had in their first loss. And the way Washington plays, it wasn't really a fluky sense to it. They rush the passer, they play physical football, and they run the football.
Yeah.
Now Antonio Gibson being out is a major blow for this game because San Francisco's defense is actually still pretty solid, even though they've lost a lot on the offensive end. They don't have Nick Bosa, but their defense still plays pretty solid. But 49ers offense is not what it was without George Kittle, without Jimmy G. You take those guys out. Mostert is playing. He doesn't look 100% to me, but he is playing. I'm going to go San Francisco, but I think this is a game, though. This is a really, really close game. 3-point spread is about right. Washington is playing well. Alex Smith is doing what he does. He manages the games as good as anybody. He really does. That's his style. He don't go down the field a lot, but he does. He does manage the game. He drives the bus. He's done it his whole career. He does it well. He's made a career doing that. But I think San Francisco finds a way to win at home because they're still in the playoff hunt. Still means a lot.
Yeah.
But I think they get done. But this is another one of those toss-up games where it wouldn't surprise me either way.
Honestly, I think I'm going to go with Washington. Not only because, they did really, really good against Pittsburgh and obviously giving them their first loss. Not only that, but and I get that they have a huge player out because, trust me, it sucks. He's on my fantasy football team, and it sucks that he is out. But at the end of the day, I think that Washington can take care of it. And San Francisco's been wishy-washy all year.
Yeah, with injuries, they're another team that you don't know. Yeah, no. They beat the Rams big at home just a few weeks ago. Then they lose big last week, albeit to a really good Buffalo
Yeah.
team. But you never know. Yeah, they're another team that's
it's like-
with injuries. They're shorthanded. You don't know which team's going to show up. But I'm going to go San Francisco at home. But that's another one of those games where we had several this week that go either way. So
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, Baltimore at Cleveland, a really good game. Really, really good game. Cleveland looked outstanding for about 3 quarters at Tennessee last week. Then the Titans made it interesting late. Cleveland 9-3 is clicking though. They are a great running team. They rush the ball as well as anybody with that two-headed monster, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Baker Mayfield has played really well the last few weeks, really settling into that system that Kevin Stefanski has. Baltimore got back on the right track, albeit against the Cowboys, which they certainly should. But they got back on the right track Tuesday. Lamar Jackson, to me, still didn't throw the ball really well. He ran the ball well, but against Dallas, anybody runs the ball well. So I'm going to go Cleveland at home. I think Cleveland's just a better team right now. But
Yeah.
Baltimore, at some point, I'm waiting to see if they click and kind of find what they had last year, because they have the talent there on paper. They just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And the Browns are really playing well, trending up. So I'm going to go with the Browns.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to agree with you because even though, well, I think that they're going to do fine, and Baker Mayfield always finds a way. So.
Yeah, he's playing well the last few weeks, and they ran the ball well all year.
Yeah.
Defensively, they play well, so I'm just not ready to pick Baltimore in a game like this. But I'm just waiting for them to find. I mean, last year Baltimore was number 1 seed. Lamar Jackson's unanimous MVP, but
Yeah.
they've not had it. They've not found it, and I picked them a couple times, waiting on it. I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pick them again. All right, our game of the week is Pittsburgh at Buffalo. All right, social media. We took a vote on this. Social media was interesting. Everyone picked Buffalo. Not everybody, I'll say, but the percentage both favored Buffalo. Twitter was much
Really?
more in the Bills' favor. Instagram was a little more close.
Yeah.
I believe Buffalo had a little over 54% on Instagram and 69% on Twitter. So
Interesting.
Pittsburgh again lost their first game Tuesday. They lost their first
Yeah.
game Monday afternoon against Washington. They've been flirting with disaster all year long.
Well, yeah.
They snuck by Baltimore. They snuck by Tennessee. They snuck by Dallas. They've had a lot of close calls, but they won them all until Monday.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger is not having the kind of season you would expect an 11-1 quarterback to have. I believe he's 25th in the analytics. So he's not. He's efficient. He's playing well enough to win,
Yeah.
but he's not having that kind of a season.
Yeah.
He does have a really good trio of receivers, and you never know which one's going to emerge. But Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster is very, very good. All three of them are. They got James Conner back, so that's going to help their running game. Their defense has been pretty solid all year. Buffalo, though, I watched them Sunday night, Monday Night Football against 49ers, and I've watched them off and on all year. Josh Allen is playing at a really, really high level right now.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think right now he's probably no lower than second in the MVP. Or third. He might be third. You've kind of got Mahomes, Rodgers, and Josh Allen kind of all three in that same boat. But he's got to be in the top 3.
Yeah.
And Buffalo's defense has been a little spotty in what I thought it was going to be with the talent that they have. But they click. They find a way. They can put pressure on the passer. And Josh Allen's playing so well, throwing and running the football. Buffalo has a dual running backs that doesn't really do a lot for you in fantasy. I can attest to that.
Yeah.
But they do, on the field, they do a lot. Devin Singletary and Zach Moss gives them kind of a lightning and thunder type combination. You don't know which is going to have the most carry, which has got the most yards, but they do have that going for them. They have a really good rushing attack. They don't have a true number 1 running back, and they're clicking at the right time right now. They're 9-3, and I think Kansas City is the favorite in the AFC.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a team to beat Kansas City in the playoffs, believe it or not, it'd probably be Buffalo and not Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The way Buffalo plays, I don't know if Pittsburgh even has the best shot to beat Kansas City. So I'm going to go Buffalo in our game of the week. I'm going the Bills at home. I think this is a big game for Buffalo on national TV, Sunday Night Football. I think the Bills need to make a statement. They're ready to make a statement, and I think they get the job done. I think the Bills win on Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football. It's going to be interesting though, because Pittsburgh getting Connor back. I'm not real sure how he's going to play, but they definitely have missed him. Benny Snell is not really he's not the dual threat James Conner has catching and running the football. So I think Buffalo gets the job done on picking the Bills. They make a statement and kind of announce their presence to the nation on Sunday night.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to pick Buffalo, but at the same time, I almost feel like Pittsburgh doesn't want to lose again. You know, like if that makes any sense. Like I feel like they're gonna come out
and
stronger.
it'll be interesting how they respond to their first loss because they flirted with it. They've had a lot of close calls that they pulled out. It didn't work. They had a 14-point lead against Washington. It didn't work out. Washington pulled it out. So it's going to be interesting to see how they respond. But I'm gonna go Buffalo. I think Buffalo. This is a statement game for the Bills.
Yeah. Well, and if you think about it, I mean, like think about it in the way that they played whenever they played against Tennessee. Tennessee, they had like a rough patch after they lost their first loss. So I mean, you never know what's going to happen. But at the same time, I feel like Pittsburgh may or may not want to get back on to their streak because that's really cool to have that kind of a streak. But at the same time, I think it is going to be interesting to see how they're going to react. And honestly, I'm going to retract my statement from earlier. I think I am going to pick Buffalo, too. The only reason why is because, like you said, it's going to be a 50-50 shot right now with them. You never know which way they're going to go, at least like with Pittsburgh. But with Buffalo, I think that Buffalo is strong. I think they're confident. I think that they're going to come in and say, hey, they already have their first loss. They're down. So
I'm interested to see how Buffalo plays in this big of a game, this big of a stage. On NBC Sunday Night Football, I'm really looking forward to seeing how they play.
And I think that they're going to react in a positive way. And I think that, but I also think that Pittsburgh, they still may or may not give them a run for their money because you never know how they're going to react right now, especially with their first loss of the season. And I don't know. I think it's going to be a really good game for sure. But I think I'm going to agree and go with Buffalo.
All right, we both got Buffalo. We agree with our listeners. The majority of them picked Buffalo as well. So that's our picks. Let us know how we did. We'll go over them again next week and see how we finished up. And now I think this has turned into one of my favorite parts of our podcast. And it's I think a lot of it is just the level of intrigue that comes with it. Randomness is what you call it, right?
Yes, this is what I call my randomness segment. And I was thinking about doing something Christmas related, but I'm going to hold off on Christmas related just a little bit. I mean, we'll still talk a little bit of Christmas because it's coming up really soon and I'm excited. Sorry, I love Christmas. But I kind of want to hold off a little bit longer since we are actually talking about doing a complete Christmas special. So stay tuned for that. It won't be on Christmas Day, but it'll be the week of Christmas for sure. So make sure that you stay tuned and come in on that. But so this actually got brought up on the radio. So I'm chilling in my car and all of a sudden this gets brought up. It's the topic of chicken and dumplings. There's two different things on this, okay? So this is kind of food related. There's parts to how I want to do this really quick. But like the main part and the main question at first was chicken and dumplings, what do you call them? Because some people, okay, I heard on the radio someone calls them chicken slick.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard of that in my entire life. Chicken slick.
I've never heard that.
I've never heard of this either. So I'm very intrigued. I'm like, what on earth is going on here? Apparently it's a North Carolina thing or South Carolina thing. I don't remember where they said they were from. But yeah, and I was like, dude, no, it's definitely chicken and dumplings. So there was that first, right? So what do you call them?
Chicken and dumplings.
Just
I've never
chicken
heard
and
chicken
dumplings?
slick. It's chicken and dumplings.
Or like, for all of our listeners, please let us know like what exactly you call chicken and dumplings. It's because I don't really know. It's literally like shredded chicken or this is how we make it. It's like shredded chicken and then it has like dumplings in it and it's so stinking good. I love chicken and dumplings. That's probably my favorite soup thing to eat in general. But yeah, no, let us know chicken slick or chicken and dumplings. I don't know. Chicken slick just does not sound appealing.
That's weird though, because I have never heard it called that before.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very appealing.
I've never heard it called that before.
Yeah, I was like, what on earth? Okay. Question 2 that came on the radio was, all right, is it a soup or a stew?
Yeah,
What's the difference?
I've never thought of it as neither.
I know, right?
I've thought of chicken and dumplings kind of as its own meal, its own
Yeah.
entree. I've not thought of it as a soup. Like soup, I think of chicken noodle soup. I think
Yeah.
of vegetable beef soup, but it's not a stew.
It's
When
not
I think
a
of
stew
stew,
either,
I
though.
think of meat, vegetables, and all that. I don't think of chicken. Chicken, that's what stew is
Yeah.
to me.
I mean, like, and then someone said that it could have been like a casserole type of thing, and I was like, no, because you don't bake it. But
Yeah, it's not
I'm
that.
like, okay.
It's just a meal. I mean, it's like,
I think it's literally its own meal. I've heard of it as a soup though, because I mean, whenever I was younger, we used to have, what was it called? It was like every single Wednesday we had at our church. It was during Lent. It was always during Lent that this happened. Every single Wednesday, everybody would get together and bring a different soup or something, and the whole church community basically we came around and we had it wasn't necessarily mass, but it was like mass. I don't know. I'm Lutheran, so it's a little weird, but we're weirdos, you know. Just kidding. But so it was always brought up like as a soup to me because it was like Soup Wednesdays or whatever. I don't even remember. I'd come down from a confirmation class and there's a whole bunch of soup out there, and chicken and dumplings was always out there. So I always necessarily thought of it as a soup, you know?
I've never heard of it as a soup. I've never heard of it as, I mean, it's just a meal. It's like chicken.
Yeah.
You know, it's chicken and rice. I mean, I thought chicken
Yeah.
dumplings just like chicken and rice. It's like a meal of itself. It's not, but it's definitely not a stew.
No, I don't think of it as a stew.
But I don't think of it as a soup either, though.
No.
I think of soup as
I
actually
think
a
that's
soup.
the only reason I think of it as a soup, because it was never called like chicken and dumpling soup or anything like that, or like necessarily considered a soup. I think that we just considered it a soup because it was always during Soup Wednesday, so like that's when everybody brought soups. We were younger too, so I don't really know. Because chicken and dumplings, you always hear it as chicken and dumplings. You don't hear it as anything else. So it's like, what? Okay. Well, and then someone tried to make the distinction of, with a stew, you can eat it on a plate, or you can eat it in a bowl. I've never heard of eating stew in a bowl, in a plate, but
I haven't either.
I don't
guess
know.
you can.
Supposedly that was the difference. And soup, you do it in a bowl. So
Yeah.
now I have a question for you. Is cereal a soup?
No.
Are you sure?
I've never thought of it as a soup.
Think about it.
You're probably going to have a technical answer to it, but I mean, the practical answer is no, because I mean, it's cereal.
It's its own type, right?
It's different. Soup is chicken noodle, vegetable beef, tomato soup, potato soup. My nanny used to make a really good potato soup.
Yeah.
But it's not, cereal's not a soup. I mean, it's, even though it's
But you eat it in a
liquid.
bowl.
You do, but you eat chili in a bowl. Is it a soup too? No.
I don't know.
I mean,
I mean, here, but then you also have like these different things that you eat it with a spoon. It's soupy
Yeah.
because of the milk.
so it's chili. It's
It's
soupy,
very
so.
much liquefied, you know, and
Soup,
so
I
that's
won't
where
think of
I
cereal
was
as a
very
soup.
confused with a lot of this stuff
Yeah.
because I was like, what? Because in my mind, I've never considered it a soup, right?
It's
But-
throwing your whole perspective of things off. It's
I
like
mean,
making you
hey.
question everything now, isn't
Yeah, it's kind of making me question.
it?
This is literally Christmas, Thanksgiving all over again.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like, shoot, I'm rethinking everything because I'm like, holy poop.
Yeah, I don't
Is
think it's a soup.
cereal a soup?
Cereal is just cereal.
See, that's what I've always thought too. It's like its own category. Because
Yeah.
one, it's cold. You usually eat cereal cold, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's in cold milk. I mean, I guess some people eat it in warm milk. I don't know. I've never heard of that personally.
No,
But,
I've not heard of that at all.
I mean, you eat it cold. Usually soup is warm or hot. You know, it's not usually something you eat cold. Am
Yeah.
I right? Like, I mean,
No.
I've never really had cold soup. I mean,
No.
if I had, it was because I left it out too long and now I'm just eating it. But
Yeah,
usually you can
yeah.
heat it up in the microwave and it's all good again, right? But,
No, soup isn't. No.
I don't
Cereal
know.
is. I don't think of cereal as a soup. No.
See, I don't either, but I was like very, very confused.
I think of
this.
soup as a liquid, but yet a main, like a main meal. Like you can eat that as a meal.
But you can
Like
eat cereal
chicken,
as a
you
meal.
can, but it's not the same thing. No. I mean, now sometimes I will eat cereal like for dinner or something. If we don't have a lot,
For
I will
real.
do that. But it's not a soup to me though. It's not the same thing.
To me, it doesn't feel like a soup, but could
No.
it technically be categorized as one? You know?
I don't know. I guess, but people categorize things weird nowadays. So
That is so true.
Yeah.
You are so right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it just made me kind of question it because, like, I still don't personally consider it a soup. I really don't. I'm really not that weird, guys, I promise. But, I mean, so it really made me question for a hot sec because I was like, what? Really?
Yeah.
Really? Like,
That's
okay.
That makes you think though, but I don't.
Yeah.
I have to think very long on my answer. No, I do not consider it a soup. I don't.
All right, and then my last and final question. Sorry, we went like food randomness today.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, we're getting close to
So-
Christmas. We just wrapped up
I know,
Thanksgiving,
right?
so this is good. This is good.
I know, right? But now we're going to talk about food. So, my last random question is, when you eat a taco, do you tilt your taco or do you tilt your head?
You gave me a heads up on this one.
I
and
did.
It's the only one that I didn't think you'd ever give me a heads up on this topic, but you did on that one. And it's both actually. I think of both because I'm imagining right now sitting here eating a taco, and I think I tilt my head more than I do the taco.
Yeah.
But I think I tilt the taco in my head. So I think it's both.
I think I do too, because in all honesty, like, I like to eat it sideways. Why I do this, like, I do, you know, like, you just, like, cock your head, but you also cock the taco to where it fits the shape of your mouth. I'm like, why don't I just eat it sideways then? Or why don't I just turn
Yeah.
the taco and not turn my head? For some reason, I like to eat it, like, at an angle. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is about eating it at an angle. It makes
Yeah.
it so much better.
Yeah.
That's me, though. I actually did see that pop up on somebody's story, and it was also Taco Tuesday, so I was
Yeah.
like hardcore thinking about tacos, and I was like, how on earth do I eat a taco? But I mean, like, I eat a burrito that way too. Like,
No, I don't
I'll
eat a
turn a
burrito.
burrito,
I don't turn a
and I
burrito.
turn my head. I don't know
You can
what's
do
wrong
that though.
with me.
That's a good question though. That's a legitimate question. The cereal soup thing, I had easy answer for me. That's a
Okay.
good question though. This is that's good, and it makes you think. And next time I eat a taco, I'm gonna think about it.
You're probably gonna second guess yourself. Like, watch
Yeah.
you second guess
I'm,
it.
I'm probably won't be acting
like, wait,
natural
hang
though.
on.
Because I'm thinking, okay, now how do I do this? Okay, I probably won't be acting natural now though. I'm probably gonna be already thinking about what.
Honestly, I think I'm gonna like eat it both ways. Like, where I don't turn both, I'm just gonna turn my head
Yeah.
and eat it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's awkward. Like, who on earth just turns their head? You know, like, to eat a taco. Like, literally, you have to like turn your head completely
Yeah,
sideways.
I think I
and then
do
it fits
both a
in your
little
mouth.
bit. I probably turn a taco maybe a little bit more, but I think I do both.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really know. And then just eating a taco sideways, I feel like you just lose so much of your stuff in the taco.
I haven't thought about it though, so I'll be thinking about it now next time I eat a taco, and we'll see how I'll try to not think about it, that way I can be more natural, but I'm probably already going to have it in my mind, so
Yeah.
probably going to be I'm probably going to be conscientious of it, I would say. So probably the rest of my life, honestly.
I just ruined tacos for you.
No, you didn't read it. It's good. I'm just going to be thinking of how I eat it. But no, I'm going to keep eating them. Don't worry. I'm going to keep eating them, especially Taco Tico tacos.
Tacos! Love
Yeah.
tacos. Tacos are great.
Yeah,
Right now,
yeah.
I'm on like a taco kick, but I haven't had Taco Tuesday in a long time.
Yeah.
So, like, our last one was probably this past week, or this week actually. We finally had one after like so long.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, I actually am digging tacos right now.
Yeah, because a while back, remember, you told me you really wasn't a big fan of tacos.
I wasn't, but that's when we were doing Taco Tuesday every single Tuesday. Every single Tuesday, Mr. Levi.
Yeah.
Me and my boyfriend did Taco Tuesday every Tuesday.
Yeah, so you got tired of it.
I got tired of tacos.
Yeah. I don't know
It
if I
was
can get
like,
tired of
"Ah."
tacos. We probably eat tacos at least once a week, but we don't eat them on certain days. Like if you eat them on certain days and you get kind of trained to do that, you
Yeah.
may get a little tired of it because your mind you like every Tuesday you eat tacos. So
Yeah.
if you eat them just randomly, you're eating them because you want to.
Yeah.
If you eat them every week, once a week on a certain day, because that's what you're supposed to do, you're trained to do it, then you may get tired of it. Because it's not because you want it, it's because you're just doing it because you're supposed to.
Which one do you like more, tacos or fajitas?
Tacos, not even close.
Really?
Not even close. My mom loves chicken fajitas.
I love chicken fajitas.
I don't mind fajitas, but if I go to a restaurant, I am getting my plate needs to have tacos, a burrito, and an enchilada.
Really?
And then whatever sides that you get, but refried beans and rice is what I get.
Yeah.
But it needs to have those three things. Fajitas I can do without. I can do anything else, but I have to have a taco, burrito, and an enchilada. That's the main. I'm kind of a meat and potatoes guy. That's kind of the main thing I have to have. Is that? That's just kind of mandatory.
I feel that, but I don't know. Something about chicken fajitas.
They're good. They're good, but I don't.
And I prefer chicken over beef. Not hating on beef, but I
Now, see, I'm the opposite. I have to have beef. In
I
fact, the
prefer
other
chicken.
night, my wife made chicken enchiladas for dinner, and I love enchiladas. In fact, I ate it for lunch the next day too. In fact, it was this week. But I did say one thing. It wasn't a complaint. It was just a casual observation. I said, you know what would have made that better? If it was beef instead of chicken. Because last time we had beef enchiladas, and they were really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken enchiladas was good, but I just like the beef better than the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
So
I respect that. I respect
Yeah.
that.
I like that. I like chicken too. But I like the beef enchiladas better.
If
Beef
you can't
burritos,
tell, if you can't tell, guys, we have not eaten lunch yet either.
Yeah, we haven't. We're getting ready to though.
We are getting ready to, but
Yeah.
that's funny. We're sitting here talking about food.
And I was saying the same thing. I'm thinking, is this really on purpose?
I was like,
Morgan?
dang it, why did I do this?
But very good questions though. Good topic.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Very good. I can't wait to see what the randomness is on our next 2 shows for
Oh, yeah.
Christmas. So
Christmas. Merry Chrysler.
yeah. Next week we'll have it'll center around Christmas next week, but then the next week will be a full on Christmas special. It'll be
Yes.
totally festive for Christmas.
Festive.
So all right, we
But,
talked a
yeah.
little bit about a devotion. We can go either way you want to with that. What you got for us? What do you want to talk about?
So, in all honesty, I don't have a true devotion because, not gonna lie, not that I should have done this because God always should come first, but at the same time, finals, it's been a stressful week, so I haven't really gotten to fully pay attention to my devotionals this week, which kind of saddens me, but it is true. But something that I did see, I can't remember the exact verse it was from, but it basically was kind of like words of encouragement, like, and during this rough time right now, especially, I know that it's the end of finals, but it is still stressful right now, and we all need words of encouragement right now coming into the holiday season, and you got to get prepared to be around your whole entire family. Good luck. Good luck. But at the same time, like, I just want to tell you guys to, one, stay strong throughout this whole entire rest of the year and throughout the holidays, because I know that 2021 is coming up. And then also, everybody, instead of yelling Happy New Year's, yell Jumanji, because we need to get out of the Jumanji game. So yell
There you
Jumanji
go,
when the
that's
ball
new.
drops, okay?
That's new.
Just yell Jumanji. If you have not seen any of the new Jumanjis right now with The Rock and Kevin Hart and all of them, you need to, because they're super, super funny. Nothing beats the original Jumanji, I will say that much. But, you know, at the end of the game, everybody's got to yell Jumanji. And that's how they get out of the game.
Yep.
So we all need to get out of the game in 2020 right now and yell Jumanji. I think that would be kind of funny
That's
if we
pretty
actually
cool.
did that.
That's pretty cool.
But anyways, as we're finishing up this year, I want to end also on a positive note, which I'm going to do this closer to the end of the new year anyways, but just to give kind of like a head start on it. A lot of positive things have probably come into your life throughout this whole entire year, even though you're not really focusing on those. But going back to one of our devotionals from previous times, I want you guys to focus on the positives of this year, because whenever you have that positivity growing inside of you, you'll continue to become even more positive, and then you'll continue to have just an all-around better life. You have to enjoy the little things in life right now, and I understand it is so super hard right now because of everything that's going on in the world, and we don't really know very much. But I mean, if you want to take this as a positive as well, we have a vaccine out now. Granted, it's still not fully capable for I'm losing my train of thought. It's not fully out for everybody right at this moment in time, but we're starting to get trial runs of it, and so that is a positive if you're worried about all of that stuff. Me personally, I'm not, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there worried right now, and I mean, for good reason too. It is a very hard thing to cope with right at this moment in time. I know it is. But at the end of the day, you got to think of the little things that make your life better. For me, it's getting to do this podcast with Mr. Levi every single week. And me getting to come home to my dogs, who I love so, so much, and getting to come home to somebody who actually loves me in a way that no one else ever could. And so those are like the little things that have come into my life. Not that two of those things have been in my life for longer than 2020, but definitely like everything that me and Mr. Levi, like I gained another dad whenever me and Mr. Levi became, like, he became my boss. Like it feels like I gained another dad, and I greatly appreciate that so much. And it's something that keeps me going, and it's something that makes me happy that came out of 2020. And so when you have like little things like that, I know there's a way more negative things in the world right now, but I'm telling you, there are way more positives in the world right now if you just choose to focus on those instead of the negatives, which is a lot easier said than done, because a lot negativity spreads way more than positivity. I have come to notice that. But the more you spread the positivity, the more and more it will grow, and the more and more it will affect other people. And it'll spread throughout the world, and we just need to stay positive in these times. And even though 2021 is coming up, and hopefully we all hope and pray that it brings a way better year for each and every single one of us, and that we can all come out of 2020 with a laugh, if you want to say. But at the end of the day, until then, just continue to focus on the positives in your life, because it is coming to an end of a historic year. I think this is going to be in the history books.
No doubt.
No doubt. But at the end of a historic year, you need to always focus on the positives that did come out of this year, because there are so many more positives than there are negatives. It's just you have to choose to focus on those positives instead of focus on the negatives. And that's what I'm challenging you guys to do. Those are my words of encouragement for you guys to do, because it's definitely helped me in my life, and I know that it'll help you guys in your life.
Very good, Morgan. That's excellent. And, that's why I said a while back, and this recently, and I think I told you this, but that's why I'll never say 2020 is a bad year, because and I know it's been it's rough on a lot of us, and it's been different, and, a lot of adversity, but, if I say it's a bad year, that to me at least, I am overshadowing everything that, that was good about 2020. And there's a lot of good things about 2020, and that has happened. A lot of it's you work with. It's awesome. I kind of gained a daughter I didn't know I had, and I didn't know I needed, and it's been awesome. And you're a big part of what's been good for 2020. And a verse comes to mind. We're talking about facing adversity. Is a verse I shared last night on social media. Cast all your anxiety on Him, for He cares for you. 1 Peter 5:7, and that's kind of what bundles up what we all go through. We all have anxiety, but we all can put it on the Lord, and He cares for us, and leave that to Him, and we can rest comfortably and have peace with that. So a lot of good things happen in 2020. So I'm not ready to write off anything. I think it's been a lot of good things have come out of it.
It's been one interesting year.
No doubt about that. Are you got anything to add?
No, that's it.
Is that it?
That's it for today. Next week I'll have a better devotion, I promise.
Well, no, it was good. I like what we talked about today, though. That's good. And God just kind of has His way with that, and it's meant to talk about it. I think it's been good. And next week we'll be at you again, and then the next week we'll have our Christmas special. We'll be taping it early in the week, and our plan is to actually air it on Christmas Day for you. So it'll be a little Christmas surprise for you. Be a lot of fun to do. Looking forward to that. Again, home games. It's Monday night, 4 and 6 p.m. Women and men versus Sterling basketball. Watch it live on portal.stretchinternet.com/friends, and we'll be there to cover it for you. We'll be there to cover it for you and provide coverage and keep you updated with all of that. Whose turn is it to pray this week?
I honestly don't remember.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll pray, and then you pray.
Okay.
Next week, and we'll just get back on track.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Lord, we're thankful for another day to do what we enjoy doing. We're thankful for this university and what it stands for. We're thankful for you and your blessings on us as we continue to tread these uncharted waters, but we know you go before us, and we're thankful for that. We don't have all the answers, but we're thankful that we serve a God who does, and you're there to protect us, and we're thankful for your blessings. I'm thankful for Morgan and everything that she does for me and for us, for bringing her in, and just continue to bless her her life and her calling for you, and just continue to draw her closer to you. And we're thankful for Scott and Davonte and just everybody here, our student athletes, coaches, administration. We ask that you keep a special touch on all of us and keep protective hand upon us always, and just draw us closer to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, thanks for tuning in today, and we will talk to you again next week. For Morgan and Scott and Davonte, I am Levi, saying have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.